Today we set sail for a passage that's 2 years in the making. We're starting the 200 nautical mile sail south to Long Island, but the path there is littered with shallow waters, coral fields, and cuts from the bank to the sound.
Woo! It was intense.
And along the way, we're hoping to catch fair winds and beautiful sights.
You know it's a good day anytime Leviosa's kicking up over 8 knots.
If you missed our last video, we moved the boat to Spanish Wells to wait out a blow and get access to their marine supply store.
But it's Saturday, and they close at noon, and they're closed tomorrow.
Never deterred, we continued our quest to catch some fish, visited the most gorgeous sandbar, and some other bars as well.
It's a different kind of sandbar.
But now it's time for us to move our floating home onto the out islands.
Today is the day that we've been waiting for. We are finally setting sail for Long Island. And it's something that we've wanted to do for 2 years, but it's never worked out because my work schedule and the winds that you need to get there have never lined up properly. Now, having said that, we have those winds right now and we wanted to leave at first light, and we're running behind as usual. So let's get going. I absolutely love putting the sail up while we're on anchor. It's so much less stressful, and you can turn the engines on to get the anchor up and off almost instantaneously. All right, rounding Meek's patch. Got the boat pointed in the right direction. It's time to get these sails trimmed, get the engines off. So today is the perfect day for sailing for our boat. There's somewhere between about 13 and 16 knots of wind coming from between right around 120 degrees apparent right now. So throughout the day, we'll get closer to 90, maybe even a little bit like closer to 80. But we've got the engines off already, mainsail only, and we're already doing 5.5 knots. I can't wait to get the head sail out and see how fast you can actually go today. Haven't even trimmed the head sail yet. Already 7.5 knots. This is great. You know it's a good day anytime Leviosa's kicking up over 8 knots.
Conditions this morning have been so absolutely perfect. We are about to go through Fleming Channel. So it's about to get a little bumpy for a while. I went ahead and put away the chairs, and the dogs are both gonna get put up while we go through this bumpy patch till we get out of the channel and find some calmer waters again. Such a rewarding experience. It's just so nice to get away from it all and do nothing but sit here, make sure that the boat is safe. And even though it's a task that we just have to do, and honestly I've never done it in waves like this before, so when I first came up here I thought I was going to be really miserable, but I was wrong. This is so delightful and refreshing. Just out here keeping an eye out for some bombies. They are pretty easy to spot right now. The water is so clear and the sun is overhead and they stick out like a sore thumb. here.
We just got through Ship's Channel and entered into the Exuma Sound, and it's pretty gross out here. So I'm gonna make the executive decision. We're gonna go straight due south to Long Key, and we're gonna cut back in onto the Sound side and probably drop anchor for the night. We were hoping to do an overnight, but when you don't have to be somewhere, why push it? So we just dropped the anchor at Long Key, and everyone always wants sail stats. So we went about 60 miles in just at 8 hours. So we averaged about 7.5 knots, which is really good for Leviosa, especially considering most of the time the wind was slightly forward of 90 degrees. And could we have stayed out overnight in the Sound? Yes. Would others have stayed out? Maybe. To me, success tonight was a good night's sleep on anchor, and so that's what we're doing, and I could not be happier.
All right, welcome to day 2 of our journey south. We are gonna leave Long Key today and head, I don't know, further south. Hopefully today is a nice and relaxing sail. Yesterday we were on the Sound side, but today we're staying in the bank. So hopefully it's all smooth sailing. And just like that, we're sailing. I remember when getting the sails up and turning the engines off was such a feat, such a accomplishment. It's crazy what can happen in a year. If you've never seen me do this before, I'm sure you're a little confused about what in the world is going on. We don't keep dairy milk on the boat anymore because it tends to spoil the exact day that we need it and takes up a lot of room in the fridge. We just use our almond cow to make a milk substitute, which right now I'm making almond milk. I've also made oat milk, which is very delicious, but it requires some soaking and I just don't have the time for that right now. So I want to make a little snack and I need some milk, so I'm just whipping this up really quick. Oh, and I know it's coming. I know they have milk that comes in like those boxes, like cardboard boxes or whatever. They also have almond milk that comes that way. I just don't like it because A, it's a lot of extra space on the boat. B, it's a lot of extra weight. And C, it's cardboard. And I really don't like having cardboard on the boat. I didn't even like having cardboard in my house. So it's just a personal preference. It's funny how much you want to talk to the camera when you're underway because there's no one to talk to other than each other. So it's funny how interested you get in explaining the most minute, small details of your life to the camera. Bear with me. We make shakes a lot when we're underway because it's an easy meal. It's packed with protein and very few dishes. And also, it's so hot in the cabin because it's so sunny. So it's a nice way to cool down. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Shake's ready.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, so I've been trying to find somewhere that's out of the noise, either the wind or the wake coming off the back. Can't find a spot, so hopefully you can hear me. But it's been a great sail, just like we thought it would be. The conditions have been absolutely wonderful. We've both finished our books. That's how nice and relaxing it's been. Even with the wind kicking up to about 22, 23 knots apparent, which made me put in a reef, because we have the protection of the land just off to our port side. A little bit of local chop, but no swell whatsoever. We've got about 10 miles to go before we're gonna get to our anchorage. We'll get there about 6:37, right before sunset. So we're gonna go enjoy the rest of this sail, and we'll see you guys there.
There's nothing but the breeze and the great unknown. Leave your worries and your suitcase. All you don't need, nothing but you. So don't throw your hopes, start on wishing well. It's your heart's desire, carry you. Come and sail with me to the open ocean. You don't have to dream because there's you.
All of these cups and glasses are gonna go flying the instant we hit a wave. So before we can get going, we gotta clean up.
So we're underway and it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. We're about to go through Galliot Cut to get back into the Sounds, and we're gonna try and make it all the way to Long Island today. There may be some motor sailing just to keep the speed up, see if we can't get there today. Otherwise, we're gonna have to stop in Georgetown and finish it out tomorrow.
I have been craving tomato soup and grilled cheese for like a week now. And I figured today's a good day to do it because I have a long time and making bread takes a long time and making tomato soup is gonna be really hot. Now, I don't have all the fresh ingredients that I usually use to make tomato soup, so I figure it's also a good test to see if this is a good boat recipe. Explain to me why flour companies insist on this packaging. Like, no one in their right mind keeps it in this. Most people either have to put it in a baggie or put it in an airtight container. Literally no one's like, oh, let me leave it in this paper sack. So why in the world have they not changed their packaging to something that we can reuse? I just don't get it. See you in 3.5 hours. I very rarely try to take a recipe that I loved on land and convert it into boat life because while things are the same, they're not really the same. But this is my favorite tomato soup recipe, so we're gonna give it a shot. Hold on, we're about to go through the cut, and I think that means that we need to stow all this glass. We'll be back.
So you can see a couple standing waves there. Might be a little rough for a couple of minutes. Then we'll be out of it, back into the Sound, and the Sound looks nice and calm. Just a cut will be a little bouncy. We chose Galliot because it's the least rough of all of the cuts when it's wind over tide.
I fully admit that was a mistake. Woo! I definitely needed a jacket to be out there. I went out just to kind of observe the conditions and didn't think it was going to be that bad. Lesson learned. Next time, throw on your life vest before you go and do that.
That was pretty intense.
It was intense. Man, Folsom Ocean Views has gotten so good at telling stories. We're foreshadowing now. What a mess. See? They had just given me a proper bag. All right, soup's off. The bread, however, smells amazing right now. But there's no way I can make soup in the oven right now because the boat is going everywhere, and so therefore all the liquid inside the Pyrex will go everywhere, and the recipe only works if everything gets caramelized on top, so I can't put a lid on it. So, soup's off for now.
We did everything we could to try and get enough speed out of Leviosa today to get all the way to Long Island, but it's not gonna happen. It's about 3:30 right now, and we're about 3 miles from the entrance to the Georgetown harbor. So with that, we're gonna make an easy day, head into Georgetown and drop the anchor.
I'm guessing 500 is gonna be a 9 if it's gonna get that hot at all. Now we need to clean up. Might not be 500 yet, but it's getting hot in here. 494. That took about 10 minutes to get there. Oh yeah, that would have gone everywhere if I tried to do this while we were underway today. Now we have an hour.
So I remember the first time we came in through Conky Cut to get into Georgetown, I was terrified. I was like adamant that I had to hit my waypoints exactly. We've been in and out of here so many times now that it really is just second nature. I almost don't even need the chart at this point, which I think is pretty impressive. I think the one thing that always strikes me is I think if there's anywhere in the Bahamas that feels like home, I think this is it.
I could stay here all day. I could sleep here, but that soup is ready, so we gotta go back. Got home just in time. Oh, that's hot! I kind of like the coconut milk substitution. It's like a island tomato soup now. I gotta say, I like it. Ooh, that looks good. When failing to meet your destination ends like this, here, life's not half bad. So, gonna enjoy dinner, and we'll see you guys next week when we finally, hopefully, make it to Long Island.
Oh, that's really good.
It's like Caribbean tomato soup.